Namaste. Welcome, I'm Jamie. Thanks for joining me. This is a class, if you are feeling compression in your lower back or your sacrum, that triangle bone right at the base of your spine, the back of your pelvis, there's 35 muscles that attach to that SI joint. So if you're feeling some compression in that joint, this will be a great class for you. We're going to stretch your glutes, your piriformis, your hamstrings, and relieve some of that tightness. So grab a block and a blanket. That will be helpful for class. And we'll start in Virasana. So grab your block and take it to the lowest height and sit on it. If it's too low and bothers your knees, then grab 2 blocks and sit on 2, okay? And then you want it widthwise. And then sit your sit bones right on it. So you're doing an inward rotation of your femur bones, which brings more space to the back of your pelvis. Rest your hands on your thighs and close your eyes. Settle your sit bones as you lengthen up through your spine. Stretch through the tops of your feet and your shins and your thighs. Tune into the rhythm of your breath. And then bring your awareness to your pelvis. So I want you to find some dimension here in your pelvis, like you're widening your right sit bone to the right and your left sit bone to the left. The right side, the front right side of your pelvis to the front right, and the front left side of your pelvis to the front left. And feel the space around, in and around your pelvis here. Take another deep breath. And then release your hands, open your eyes, and come onto your back. And roll on down, hug your knees to your chest, and rock a little bit side to side. Bring your left foot to the ground and hug your right knee into your chest. Take your right leg up to the sky, so Supta Padangusthasana. So if you are tight in your hamstrings, a strap actually might be helpful, or a scarf, or some kind of tie. So you can wrap that around the ball of your foot and hold onto either side of your strap. If you can grab onto your big toe with your first 2 fingers, then go ahead and grab your big toe with your right hand. We'll keep this left leg straight just so we can focus on this right leg. You're gonna roll your outer right hip forward. So you're drawing your inner right thigh up towards your face. If you need to bend your knee, bend your knee. We want the leg more perpendicular to the ground rather than way out here and straight. So bending the knee is much better. So bring the leg more perpendicular to the ground. You want to widen the back of your pelvis. Feel your sacrum pressing into the ground. And we'll do a lot of anterior tilt to your pelvis in this class. So that means you're drawing your low back away from the ground. The front of your pelvis comes up. Low back drawing away from the ground. Take another deep breath. Okay, so if you have the strap, you're going to take both sides of the strap into your left hand. If you don't, just grab onto your right foot with your left hand. Take your right thumb to your right hip crease and slide your outer right hip more forward. And you're just going to take your little right leg across the midline over to the left. So this is getting into your IT band on the outside of this right thigh. Big band of fascia over here. So I don't have to even take my leg that far, and I feel a nice stretch through my outer hip and down the outside of my right leg. You can even bend your right knee. A little more depth to your breath, especially if there's a lot of sensation here for you. And keep drawing your outer right hip forward. Let's come back up to center and release your right foot down. Switching sides, take your left leg up to the sky. Same thing, wrap your strap around the ball of your foot or catch your big toe with your first two fingers. Supta Padangusthasana, reclined hand to big toe pose. Legs straight or bend your knee, want the leg more perpendicular to the ground. And then your outer left hip's rolling forward, left inner thighs rolling up towards your face. And reach your left heel up toward the sky. Breathe into the back of your left leg. And if possible, more of an anterior tilt to your pelvis here. Drawing your low back away from the ground will help create that anterior tilt to your pelvis. The front of your pelvis drawing up and forward almost. Deep breath into the calf muscles and your hamstrings. Rest your shoulders, back of your head. And then both sides of the strap into your right hand or catch your left foot with your right hand. Left thumb to your left hip crease and roll your outer left hip forward as you take this leg across your midline. Go slow so you can feel into all the little sensations here and subtleties. And again, keeping your right knee bent so that you can focus on this left leg a bit more. Drawing your outer left hip forward. Keep your left side waist long. Maybe even put a little bend in your left knee to move the stretch. Maybe more up into your glutes there, as well as this outer leg line. And then we'll come back through center and bring your left foot down. Take a breath. Press your hands into your thighs. Draw your femur bones forward. Feel that space in your lower back as you slide your femur bones forward. And then hold on to the backs of your thighs. Take a few rocks and rolls on your spine. Cross your ankles, come up all fours. And if your knees are sensitive, if you're on a hardwood floor, maybe take your blanket under your knees. Find a neutral spine as you take your wrists right under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. So you're going to draw the top of your pelvis, those bones toward each other, engage your low belly, and then also draw your low ribs toward each other, engage your deep core muscles. Inhale, then find your cow. So here's your anterior tilt to your pelvis. And then exhale into your cat. Here's a posterior tilt. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Twice more, breathing in, arching your back. Breathing out, rounding your spine, belly towards your spine, press the floor away. Come back to a neutral spine. And let's tuck your toes. Press the ground away, spread your fingers wide. Find your cow tilt again, this anterior tilt to your pelvis. And think about that dimension of your hips and your right sit bone out to the right, your left sit bone out to the left. Press the ground away. We're gonna lift up into downward facing dog. Keep this anterior tilt. Keep your knees bent. Press the floor away with your hands. Arms are long, spine is long, sit bones lifting to the sky, exaggerating this pelvic tilt. Widen your right sit bone to the right, your left sit bone to the left. Let your head hang heavy. You can start to straighten your legs a bit more, but keep your sit bones reaching up to the sky. Roll your inner thighs in and back. Keep pressing the floor away. It's exaggerating still this anterior tilt to your pelvis. Stretching the back of your hips. Let's walk the feet as wide as your mat. Take maybe 3 more breaths, just like this. Knees bent, sit bones lifting, spine long. Feel the dimension through your hips. And then walk your feet back to hip width, fold forward into plank pose. Breathing in, firm up your thighs, your belly, reach the crown of your head forward. Take another breath here, really press the floor away. And then lower your knees. Keep your toes tucked as you send your hips back to your heels, belly to your thighs, forehead to the ground. Pop up onto your fingertips, stretch through your shoulders. Thinking about lifting your tailbone up. Keeping that anterior tilt to your pelvis. One more breath, stretching through the soles of your feet. Back up to all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, look forward and walk your way to the top of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana as you inhale. Knees bent, sit bones widen. Exhale, fold over your bent knees. Inhale, come up through chair pose. So you want your feet right under your hips, adjust if you need. Send your sit bones back and bring your elbows right on top of your thighs. Okay, so you're widening your right sit bone to the right, your left sit bone to the left. Feel that dimension through your hips. And you're arching your back, so slide your heart forward. Now bring your elbows right in front of your knees. A little bit harder, a little bit more sensation through your outer hips. Okay, widen your right sit bone to the right, left sit bone to the left. Now take your hands to your outer shins here. So as you're widening your sit bones out, stretching through your hips, you want to press just gently your shins toward each other to protect your knees. Keep widening your sit bones. Press your shins toward each other. Feel some more space through your low back. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to fold forward. Slowly start to straighten your legs. Keep widening your sit bones as you press your shins toward each other. Slowly start to straighten your legs to your degree. Just press into your heels, spread your toes, root into your big toe mounds. Keep lifting your sit bones to the sky. Lift your chest halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step your right foot back. Lower your back knee down. Anjaneyasana, low lunge, reach up. Hook your thumbs, spread your fingers wide. Lengthen up through the front of your spine. Take a little side bend to your left. Stretch through your right hip flexors, right thigh. Come on up as you inhale, exhale, bring your hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Plank pose as you inhale. Lower to the mat as you exhale. You can drop your knees or come through chaturanga. Press into the tops of your feet, cobra, breathing in. Downward facing dog, breathing out. Take your right leg up to the sky as you inhale. Reach through your toes. Draw your knee to your nose as you exhale. Look forward. Step your right foot through. Find a long runner's lunge here. Firm up your legs and sweep your arms up high. Lunge. Sink into your hips. Stretch through the top of that left thigh. So you're lifting your left thigh, dropping your right. Take a big breath. Exhale, bring your hands down. Step forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Back to that chair pose, so feet right under your hips. Bend your knees. Widen your right sit bone to the right, your left sit bone to the left. Bring your elbows to the tops of your thighs. Feel the dimension of your hips. And then elbows to the front of your knees. Widening your sit bones, reach your heart forward, hands to your outer shins, press your shins toward each other as you widen your sit bones. Let's start to fold your way forward, pressing your shins in toward each other, widening your sit bones to their space, right sit bone to the right, left sit bone to the left, folding into your legs. Maybe if you can, wrap your arms around your calves. Lifting your sit bones, dropping the head. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale your left foot back. Lower your back knee down, Anjaneyasana. Draw your inner thighs toward each other, lift your pelvic floor, hook your thumbs, open up through the front of your spine, little side bend to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Plank pose, breathing in. Lower to the mat, breathing out. Cobra as you inhale. Squeeze your inner ankles toward each other as you slide your heart forward. Press your pubic bone down. Downward facing dog, exhale. Lift your left leg up, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your left foot through, long runner's lunge. High on the ball of your back foot. Press your left foot down. Come on up. Inhale and stretch through your right thigh, right hip flexors. Send your outer left hip back. Exhale, step forward and folded Tadasana. This time stand all the way up, press into your feet, reach up to the sky, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Tadasana, take a deep breath. Okay, step to the long edge of your mat. I'm gonna face away from you because we're gonna turn and then I'll end up facing toward you. So the feet go wide, not as wide as Warrior Two, a little bit less, okay? And we're gonna start to turn to the left, all the way to the left. Keep going till you're facing the other edge of your mat, okay? And you're making an X with your legs. So you're gonna bend into this left knee. You can take your hands to your thigh and then wander your right foot towards the back edge of your mat. So your feet are not on the same line. Your right foot is back further than your left. You might be able to put your hands down or keep them on your left thigh. So you're widening your left hip to the left, send it back. As you draw down through the inner arch of your right foot. Okay, so this is a big old stretch for this IT bend. Again, outer left hip. Keep your knees strong by pressing down toward the inner edge of your right foot. Like you're lifting your shin up toward the sky. Let's take another breath. Keep sending your outer left hip back. Okay, and then come back onto your thigh and then pivot all the way around. Back to center. And then over to the other side. So turning to the right, all 10 toes to the right and all the way to the long edge of your mat. Bend your right knee. Start to wander your left foot towards that short edge of your mat. And this might be enough. You might stay here. You might have your block under your hands or you might come all the way down. It's whatever feels right for you. Walking your left foot as far over to that edge of the mat as you can. And you want to widen your outer right hip back. Feel that stretch there. Lifting your sit bones a bit. Bring you more sensation there. Let's take another breath. And then climb on back up. Spin all the way back to center. Okay, take a breath. I'm gonna do that one more time and add on some bigger twist through your torso. So over to the left again. Bend your left knee, wander your right foot over to that long edge of your mat. So you're gonna lift up through your left arm. Here's an inhale. As you exhale, hook your elbow to the inner left thigh. Bring your palms together and twist to the right, toward the top of your mat. Stay there, bring your left hand down and take your right arm up to the sky. Keep sending your outer left hip back. Open up through the right outer hip. Let's come back up. And pivot all the way to the other side. Bend your right knee. Wander your left foot. Take an inhale. Exhale, hook your elbow. Twist to your left. Send your outer left hip back. Your outer right hip back. Feel a stretch through both hips actually. That's maybe why I got caught up there. Right hand down, left arm high. Keep drawing down to the inner arch of that left foot and come on back up. And pivot back. Step your feet together and walk toward the top of your mat. Roll your shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath here, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Put a little bend in your knees. You can lift your sit bones. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Plant your palms, step back, plank. Take a vinyasa halfway or all the way down. Cobra or upward dog. Squeeze your inner ankles toward each other. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lower to your knees and have a seat. Find Tadasana. Draw your right knee into your chest. You can sit on your blanket to find more of an anterior tilt, actually, if you feel like you're rounding in your lower back. Sit on the edge of your blanket and that'll help you find that anterior tilt to your pelvis. So right knee comes in, Ardha Matsyendrasana. You can keep your left leg straight, as we'll add on from here. Draw your right knee into your chest. Take your right hand back behind you. Lift your left arm, find some length there. Breathe in. Exhale, hook your elbow to the outside of your knee. Or you can wrap your left arm around the front of your knee. Look for the stretch through the outer right hip. So press into your right foot. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, twist a bit deeper. Let's come back through center. So we want to make sure this left leg is crossed over the center line. We'll find half Gomukhasana legs. So that means we're going to stack our knees best we can. So you want the left leg crossing through the midline. So you can stack your knees right on the center. So when we fold forward here, we want to try to lift our belly up and forward. Okay, so lengthen up through your spine, breathing in. Ground your left leg, flex your foot, even draw your right toes back towards your right knee. And then as you exhale, lengthen your spine and fold. Again, you want to lift your belly up as you fold over this right leg, right thigh. Ground your sit bones, and again, feel the dimensions in your right sit bone to the right and your left sit bone to the left. Bring your hands down, come on up as you inhale, and then let's switch legs. Stretch your right leg out, draw your left leg in, cross your foot over your thigh, lengthen through your spine. Take your left hand back behind you, reach up through your right arm, find that length, exhale, and hook your elbow to the outside of your knee. Stay there, or wrap the elbow around the front of the knee and really hug the knee and feel the stretch through your outer hip, IT band area again. Maybe even through your glutes. Feel that space in your low back. Now if you're having any instability in your SI joint, you might want to think about making sure to take your pelvis with you. Okay, so don't use your arms as a strong torque to twist away from your pelvis. So you might even, it's okay to bring your pelvis with you. Let's unwind as you exhale. Slide this right leg over to the left so the knee is right on the center line. Stack your knees. Gomukhasana legs or half Gomukhasana legs. Keep your right leg strong, left toes flexed toward the knee. Breathe in. Then as you exhale, lift your belly up and fold over your left thigh. Take another deep breath. Bring your hands down, come on up. Cross your ankles. Move your blanket out of the way. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your heels. Take a deep breath. Pigeon pose. Look forward. Take your right knee wide to the outside of your right wrist. So keep your back toes tucked. Send your back knee further back and keep your back toes tucked still. Walk your hands back. You can have your hands on your blocks or on the floor, and you're gonna lift your chest. So let's lift the back knee off of the ground. Okay? And again, widen your right sit bone to the right, way out to the right. Hug your left inner ankle in towards the midline. Lift your chest up. Bring your hands down, step it back, downward facing. And then other side, left knee goes wide. Keep your back toes tucked. You're gonna send your back leg further back. Walk your hands back. They can be on blocks or the floor. Lift your back knee. So firm up your right thigh. Lift your chest. Widen your left sit bone way out to the left. Feel that stretch through your outer hip, through the front of your right hip. Feel the length up through your spine. And then step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. Go ahead, lower down to your knees. Cross your ankles. Come all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees to your chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Bring your left foot down, half happy baby. Bend your right knee. Take your right knee wide, so externally rotate deeply through your hip. Have your heel, your ankle right above your knee. Try to draw your right knee down toward the ground. You can let your left knee fall out to the left so you're even on your pelvis. Try to drop your left hip. And then switch sides, bring your right foot down, bend your left knee, half happy baby, Ardha Ananda Balasana. Take your knee wide. Ankle right over the knee, draw the knee down. Let your right knee fall out to the right. Find a neutral pelvis here. You're dropping the back of your right hip. And then release. Hug your knees to your chest one more time. Squeeze everything in. Nose towards your knees. Take a deep breath. And extend your body out for Shavasana. Settle your shoulders. Relax your belly. Relax your legs. Let your feet fall out to the sides. Soften into the natural rhythm of your breath. Stay here and relax. I'm going to sing some Oms to close out our practice. You're welcome to sing with me as you lie in Shavasana. May others as well benefit from our practice. Much love. Namaste.